Okay, there we go, monkey butt. I accidentally went live with the wrong channel. Oops. All right. Well, Miss Butt. Reprieve for another day, huh? Oh, yeah. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Houston, a Problem. Update, Monkey Butt was supposed to get her second round of chemo today, but the medical veterinary RV, the oncology place is based in Olympia, which is, a couple hours away from here. They have a medical van, RV, that goes to communities different days of the week so you can get your chemo appointments. Well, it got in a wreck this morning. Luckily, no one was hurt, but Monkey Butt's chemo appointment had to get postponed, and they don't know when the RV is going to be back online, so next Wednesday, I'll have to drive to Olympia for her to get her treatment. So that should be adventurous. In the round world of greater news, Tesla's still shit in the bed. Spy's still shit in the bed. Trump is still coming out with even more tariffs to levy against everybody. And they're talking about 200% tariffs against European alcohols. So it's just so fucking stupid. It's all so stupid. Just anyway, a federal judge said that all the probationary employees that have been fired by Doge and those clowns must be given their jobs back. We'll see if they actually do anything about that. And then we got what else, Monkey? Elon was apparently crying in the Oval Office, overheard sobbing and crying in the Oval Office. Aww. Legislation got passed to essentially not regulate stable coins. So counterfeiting is now legal. That's cool. What's happened, Monkey? Well, JP Morgan said Tesla price target is $120 a share. So that gives us $120 to fall. $120 to fall, which is a lot of money can be making off of puts on this sucker. I think Tesla is worth much less than that. They can't sell cars to save their lives. They're a toxic brand. People aren't going to want to drive their vehicles anymore. They're rebadging them as like Mazdas and Hondas and stuff. They're like, oh, but the Tesla isn't a car company. It's a tech company. It's going to come out with AI humanoid robots. Do you know how many of those AI humanoid robots are going to get their asses kicked by strangers on the street? Painted with swastikas, everything else. No, Tesla is a done brand, and Elon destroyed the legacy of a great man in doing so. Because Nikola Tesla never would have approved of Elon using his name at all. Elon should have called it Edison, because Edison is the type of person who would steal other people's thunder and take credit for it. I'm sure if there's other updates, other things to talk about, you guys will bring it up in the chat. That's what you're here for, right? So let's blow up the world one more time. All right. Zeomai got a dude with nub first. Bill Coin. Kaboom. Zappy. Shout out Monkey Butt, Fat Cat, and Kitten. Well, they're all wandering around. The Fat Cat's making noise. Seagill, dipping my toes back in the GME calls on these price drops. Yeah, it's dropping quite a bit. It's dropping with the SPY at the moment. Apparently this week, UBS officially takes on like everything from Credit Suisse, which means all their liability. There's also talk about UBS leaving the nation of Switzerland because Switzerland's making too many like tight regulations to govern how UBS can operate, which is probably the best thing that could happen to Switzerland. Because UBS leaving Switzerland means Switzerland's no longer on the hook for all of UBS's liabilities, which takes it from, I forget what we calculated it to be, but it was something like $40,000 a Swiss citizen is what the liabilities at UBS come out to. And there's just not enough Swiss people to take care of that. So probably the best thing Switzerland could do is over-regulate UBS until they like move to another country and then destroy their economy. So survival of the fittest in that case. BlackRock's taken up a huge chunk of GME. They're now at 34 million shares, which is pretty close to what Ryan Cohen holds. It's going to get interesting. Ryan Cohen also was named an interested party in the True Value Hardware bankruptcy. That came out today in some dockets. Yeah. Some interesting things going on. He posted a picture of himself with the CEO of Shopify, and Shopify, runs Teddy's website, I think they run Beyond's website as well, or hosted or whatever. They are tightly knit with Flexport, which is the shipping company, Ryan Peterson, who is trying to make things ship as fast as Amazon, but for a multitude of online companies. These guys are kind of a cabal of divorced dad energy. I get the business motives. The political motives of these dudes is just like this. Like Ryan Peterson was like gung-ho, Trump. And then Trump put a bunch of tariffs on things, which is destroying his shipping business. He's like, no, why are you doing this? Well, it's what he does, you clown. And then, Ryan Cohen's all Trump, and it's getting him divorced. And Trump and Project 2025 want to get rid of video games. And then you got the Shopify guy who's Canadian. Shopify's a Canadian company. And he's all mad at Canada for doing retaliatory tariffs. Like, well, how dare you stick up for yourselves? Yeah, you read about him, you're like, this guy's kind of an asshole. So it's kind of an interesting little cabal. If I can make money off of them, great. But I don't want to have a dinner with any of these dudes. Just a lot of Napoleon complexes thing going on in there. Kelly Reed, happy birthday, HW. Bank of Canada reduces policy rate by 25 points. Federal government likely to come in to save homeowners. Don't think it'll be enough. Everyone is over leveraged here. Yeah. I know that a lot of people have their personal wealth tied into their home's value, and that's where most of their wealth lies. It's going to be a tragedy. But Canadian homes, they got to have at least, there has to be a 50% haircut on the price of homes across Canada. It's unsustainable. So I don't know how the Canadian government is going to rectify that or deal with it, or, maybe just tell every bank to just cut all mortgages in half or something. I don't know. I don't know what the solution is, other than just a full-on real estate collapse, and then everyone deals with the turmoil that happens from it. But Canadian real estate is basically the most overpriced real estate in the entire world, as like a nation. I mean, you got small, densely packed places, London and stuff, Hong Kong, that have really high, but they don't. Canada has huge, spread out. We're talking millions upon millions of square miles, and they still have home prices in rural communities equivalent to that of like urban centers in metropolitan world-class cities. It's not sustainable. I was looking at Whistler houses. Whistler is a ritzy ski resort, year-round destination. Yes, the homes are going to be worth a lot. But I'm talking like a ski in, ski out, 4-bedroom house, really nice, for sale right now for like $2.9 million Canadian. So it's like $2 million US. In 2005, that same house sold for $295,000. So in 15 years, it's 10x. Or sorry, 20 years, because it's 2025 now. COVID messes me up. So in 20 years, it's 10x. That is redonkulous. Like the real estate bubble was really building in 2005. How on earth did a home like that become worth 10 times as much as it was then? Crazy. Absolutely great. And the exchange rate in 2005 was like 50%. So that house was basically like $150,000 US for a 4-bedroom ski in, ski out. Wild. Yeah. So you guys have some soul searching to do. I'm glad you now have an economist running your country. It's probably the best thing to have to deal with all the bullshit that's coming out of here, is having a guy who actually is really good at macroeconomics. So It's good for that. Ford ZZ9, fourth. What's your plans for your call options tomorrow? I'm sitting on Tesla puts. They did fairly well today. I'm planning on dumping them tomorrow. Probably around like 1 to 1:30 p.m. Eastern. That seems to be about the time that they peak dip before they get a little bounce back. I may, depending on what the market's looking like, I may just hold my cash until close, or if it looks like SPY might do a little bounce, I might get some daily SPY calls and write it up $5 to $10. Because about 3 out of 5 days each week, drop $10, go up 8, drop $10, go up 10. Like that's what the SPY has been doing a lot. Today it dropped $10, went up 4, and then eased back down again. But it looks like the government's going to shut down. The Democrats are not going to vote for the resolution because they're not getting anything they want. The Republicans all went on vacation, so there's no one even in DC to vote to keep the government open because they suck at their jobs. So I will be buying I'm not going to split it. I'm going to be a degenerate gambler. I'm going to buy nothing but puts for Monday, as many as humanly possible. Cats are in full on fight. Well, someone's going to learn a lesson there. And because I expect the SPY to have a day kind of like Monday, where it'll drop 20 or 30 points with the government being closed. Futures will look bleak over the weekend. I'm just saying, if that's what happens on Monday, Houston may have retirement money by Wednesday. That's how much I'm betting against this sucker. So, Juice Miami Schumer just caved. Oh no. So maybe I won't be doing my my put options. Democrats look to save face of shutdown battle. No, don't do that. Government shutdown blame game where Schumer said Democrats are in a pickle. Crisis not Schumer, you fucking pussy. Trump has decided that Schumer is not Jewish anymore? What the hell kind of headlines are these? Chuck, you need to grow a pair, dude. I think someone needs to slip some testosterone into Chuck Schumer's coffee. That's probably what needs to happen. Because he's just becoming a sad old man. Well, that may change what I'm doing for Monday. At any rate, I think Tesla will still go over tomorrow. So I'll be up on my calls there, but that's what I have to say. Okay. Kelly Reed, a good saying I heard was no one makes $1 billion, they take it. Yeah, basically. Yeah. That's why you have so many sociopaths, narcissists, and psychopaths at that upper echelon, because you really have to just not care about people to just run roughshod over them. I have a friend who created this video game. It was a very, I'm not going to say the name of the video game because you guys may go bother him, but it was a video game that taught kids about resources in the earth, how to make a sustainable environment. He sold a lot of contracts for this video game to elementary schools because it was kind of like Minecraft, but hey, resources are finite, and if you do too much, you can pollute the atmosphere and kill off animals. So he had to create the sort of modern society while also having a holistic approach to the Earth's environment. And he was all like, hey, environment, blah, blah, blah. The dude moved to Miami last year from Seattle, and all of a sudden, he's like this crypto bro douchebag who thinks Trump and Elon are like gods and can do no wrong. And I don't understand. Buddy, your entire business is about how crypto is unsustainable and awful for the environment. And what happened, man? Where did you go? What did you do? And he's all of a sudden now in I'm going to take billions of dollars mindset. I don't know if he was dropped on his head or what, but he is a completely different human being. Just in the year he's moved to Miami. It's very strange. Very strange indeed. Julio, what did you do to him? Taco Sam 77. Hey, Houston. I was just wondering what you think of UVXY will go up to when market crashes. I mean, it depends on how fast the crash is. If you get multiple days where it's dropping 1,000 points or more, which I think if we get a good Black Swan event, bank going down, etc., that's very possible. 150 to 500, it'll do this crazy spike, and then whoop, it'll be over with. That's basically what it did when the market dropped 37% in March 2020. It went up to like $500. So yeah, it's very possible. There's a ton of people buying like $75 call options for the VIX and $50 for UVXY for like May, June. I think that's just sort of like the gut feeling of like how long we can last before we start seeing the effects of this recession, depression coming. Yeah, I mean, if I get a significant chunk of change this coming week from my options plays, I'm probably going to be taking big chunks of that and doing long-term plays like that. They're out several months, just as even a way to just store my cash for a month or so while the market goes, because those things will still double in that time, while I like mess with other things. So yeah, long-term SPY puts, long-term VIX-related calls, those inverses are going to do pretty well when this thing finally does shit the bed. So yeah, because remember last summer when the Japanese carry trades hit, was it like August? It's like the first week of August 5th, somewhere around there. If you had bought weeklies for the VIX or UVXY or similar, right, they would cost you like $1. And on that Friday, they were worth $2,000 because the VIX went, wow, had a crazy spike all of a sudden because it was just such a sudden hit to the SPY. So those lotto tickets are there. You just got to figure out how to time it like the insiders do. Like all the people that were probably like, well, you got to close out these Japanese carry trades were like, well, I'm going to take some extra cash and buy a whole bunch of VIX calls with it. And that's probably what they did. So you cause the problem, you benefit from it. Like if you're an insider at Silicon Valley Bank, it's trading at $350 a share, and you know that you're causing a run on the bank, that you're going to pull out all of your money, cause the bank to collapse. Wouldn't you take that money and buy millions of dollars in puts? Because somebody did. Somebody bought millions of dollars of $100 puts on like the Wednesday, the day before everything collapsed on a Thursday. And they made $10,000 off of every single solitary one of those puts. Talking like billions of dollars were made from somebody who like pulled all their money out of Silicon Valley Bank, or like took that money and put it back in the market for puts on that bank. And we're like, see ya, right? I mean, that's kind of a brilliant like Bondville in a way to make a bunch of money, right? You find a regional bank, you become their largest customer, and then you just fuck them. You pull out all your money, buy a bunch of puts, and you're like, it's pretty brilliant method there. 469 agrees with Kelly. Tatalus, why exactly stock market is needed in general? Every company will be dead sometime in the future, so at the end, it's just transferring money, no? Explain the need for stock market like I'm 5. Rich people need a place to put their money because they can't buy enough stuff to take care of that. That's basically it. Like, you're rich. You make $100 million a year. You're $10 million a year even, right? There's only so many things you can buy. Like, you got your ski chalet, your beach house, your apartment, your mansion, the house for your mom. Like, eventually you just run out of things to buy. You can only have so many cars. You can only buy so much toilet paper. You got really nice bed sheets for all the beds in your houses. Well, you don't need 20 of them. You got a really big TV. You don't need 100 TVs. There's like a limit to the physical things you can buy. So what you have to do after that is you got to just park your money somewhere. So you buy up companies. You buy up chunks of companies. You buy up indexes. You buy up real estate portfolios. You just have to put this money somewhere because it can't sit in the bank because it's not insured. right? The bank only insures to 250,000. So you have to take that cash and you have to just put it anywhere you possibly can. So you're going to put it into securities. You're going to put it into crypto. You're going to put it into stupid NFTs. You're going to just put it somewhere so it sits and makes even more money for you that you still can't physically spend. And that's it. That's why you have a stock market. I mean, it's beyond the initial public offering of a stock. It basically means nothing to the company after that, right? Like they sell the stock at the initial public offering or in later offerings, and they get that cash and they do stuff with that cash. You know, pay employees, buy other companies, invest in infrastructure, etc. Right? But after that, they have to repay the people who bought their stocks. They got to send them dividends and stuff. So it just starts bleeding the company off after that. Which is why you'll see them do stock buybacks and all that jazz once they make enough money. But yeah, it's kind of, you know, it's kind of a dumb system. I would prefer if you made it. I don't know exactly how this would work, but if a company went public, right? You're like, I'm going to take this company public. I'm going to sell shares in my stock. You made some sort of rule that no one is allowed to own more than 5% at all in that company. Once you go public, the most someone can own is 5%. So that means if you're the founder of that company and you want to go public, you're selling off 95% of your shares minimum. And this will cause boards to be much more diverse. And you have to limit indexes too. So like if you have an index like BlackRock itself could not own pieces of State Street or Vanguard, right? And if BlackRock's going to invest a chunk of money into, say, a bank, they can't invest into other banks. So you have to like make index funds so that they have to pick and choose one of every category to invest in, right? Like they couldn't own a whole bunch of Microsoft and a whole bunch of Apple. They couldn't own a whole bunch of Pets.com and Chewy. They couldn't own because there's too much inbreeding going on to the point where like was it Morgan Stanley owns BlackRock. BlackRock owns huge chunks of the other big indexes, plus huge chunks of every bank in existence, 7 to 10% of every bank that exists. That sort of defeats competition, right? If you have enough stock, you can basically pressure the board to do whatever you want at any of these industries that are competing with each other. That, to me, is an antitrust violation. You shouldn't be allowed to do it. So, I know I'm kind of getting off topic there, Tatalis, but it's hopes and dreams for losers like us to make enough so we don't have to care anymore. And it's also, stock market exists for the actual winners in life to just park their cash because they got nowhere else to put it. That's why it's there. Michael Harrell, Houston. Instead of a cure for bird flu, can we get a cure for stupid first? Well, judging from what COVID's done to the brain, that might be a little bit of both. It's destroying brains left and right. People who got COVID before the vaccine, their brains are all smaller. They've shrunk in comparison. Kids are dumber now, like the ones who got stuck going to school during that. We've like basically done the equivalent of lead poisoning on the entire population, but with just COVID in a matter of a couple of years. And bird flu, let's just hope that bird flu only takes out those who are like anti-vax, whatever, and everyone else does okay, because it's with a 51% fatality rate. That's just brutal. That's one way to get the market to collapse, is just kill off half the population. But then once it bottoms out, you got nothing but growth from there, right? The apocalypse is a growth industry. N9 Phew was busy and couldn't doom scroll today. What happened today? Lol. Oh, well, more doom and gloom. It does appear. Do you guys hear about the Navy merchant ship that was carrying fuel, jet fuel for different bases, and got rammed by the Portuguese ship? It turns out the Portuguese ship was operated by a Russian captain. It appears as though once the Navy ship dropped anchor, they steered towards it and for like 6 hours did a beeline straight into it. And it sounds to me like an act of war. It doesn't sound to me like an accident. It sounds like a very, 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 very deliberate thing to happen. So they're currently holding the captain under arrest for negligence. But if I were one of the European investigators, I would investigate them for sabotage, a targeted specific conspiracy to destroy that ship. Because it makes it hard for U.S. military to fuel, operations around the globe if you destroy 1/13 of our entire fueling operation. So, Brandon Wells, sup BBBY, sup No Labs. I got nothing from No Labs. BBBY, it sounds like one of the $500 million claims against the company is just going to get jettisoned, which is going to reduce the amount owed by the debtors, making payout to shareholders much more likely. The bonds are still increasing in price. We're at 17 or 18 days of it increasing by, 700-800% so far. The volume's not showing up, though. The price is going up each day, but they're not showing any volume numbers of trades. So that's kind of interesting. Yeah. Way wild. Any update in Ron coming on the show? I have some things I need to tell him to get off my chest. I haven't heard from him yet. I will reach out again and see if we can get him on. Because I have some comments and concerns. I definitely want to talk to him about how fucked up the FDA is now. And if he thinks even getting an FDA stamp means anything anymore. Right? Like, back in the day, Schwinn made the best bicycles. You wanted a bicycle? You got a Schwinn. That was your top of the line bike. Sweet, right? Sometime in the 1990s, Schwinn sold to a Chinese company and started making shit. Absolute garbage. They were living off of the name reputation of Schwinn, but they're producing just garbage. And that may be what comes from what they're doing to the FDA. Is that in everyone's mind around the globe, the FDA is the preeminent a regulator for medical devices and medication in the world. And if you get a stamp of approval from them, it qualifies for a stamp of approval elsewhere around the world. And I think what people are going to find is that all the good people are gone, all the bad people are there, and the stamp approval isn't going to mean shit anymore. So, like, is Ron going to have to go for a European agency to give them the stamp approval to make sure that means something? I honestly don't know. Yeah, it happens to good brands all the time, especially when private equity gets in there. You have a good brand, people trust it. Private equity gets in, sends their factory to some, village in China. The product come out and they start, the rivets aren't good, the leather's terrible. It just goes downhill. And they're still trying to sell it for a premium price. Then eventually it just becomes this thing that you see at Target rather than at Macy's or Bloomingdale's or whatever. Yeah, that's where the FDA is going. Yogi, hooray, federal judge. F-Doge, agreed. Daniel Holcomb, Tesla is doomed. Sales are declining massively in their core markets, whilst their competitors gain market share. Tesla are fucked. Quite right, too. Yeah, they're screwed. I mean, do you see the Kia advertisement in Norway? Because you see people that have the stickers on their Teslas, like, I bought this before I knew Elon went crazy or whatever. Kia has an ad with a bumper sticker on their cars that says, I bought this after Elon went crazy. So, yeah. It's pretty brilliant. Aaron Salentine, Houston. Look up ticker symbol HMR. They IPO at $10, but 92% of the floor is locked up for 4 months, and only 8% is tradable. Was shorted down to $2 and rocketed today. HMR. HMR share price. Home Run Resources. Well, went up a little bit today. Let's see here. Can we Chrome HMR? Well, a little bit, and then ended up down. This is the one you're looking at. This is in Canadian dollars, unless there's a different HMR. 1 year. Well, this one's only had a peak of $3, so it must be a different. Maybe this one? Hedmar Maritime Holdings? There, this one looks a little greener. So 5 days, 1 month, year to date, 1 year. So this thing was at $6 on the 20th, dropped down to $1.50, and is now back up to $3.50. Interesting. So what do they do? I bet they don't have enough shares. So the volume's pretty high, 82 million shares. Average volume is 5 million. So it doesn't look like there's a little squeeze going on there for sure. Profit earnings ratio is insane, 31 to 38. So it's about 100 million shares, looks like. So less than that. Something to look at there, Aaron. Indeed. Augustine Perales. Hedge funds are being liquidated on 3 leveraged positions. Is MOAS closer? If they're being liquidated, yes. Yes. And there's Julius Mammies again saying Schumer just caved, change your game plan. Fucking Schumer. The Democrats need like a really pissed off drill sergeant to just slap the shit out of them. To be like, your job isn't to be bipartisan anymore. Your job is to be an asshole. So be an asshole. People elected you to be an asshole right now. So stick up and be a fucking asshole right back. Don't give them an inch. Do exactly what the Republicans do whenever you're in power. Nothing. Like, think about the ACA, right? We had a plan for a public option, basically a national insurance company that could basically undercut all of the other insurance companies providing superior care, just like Medicaid does, and give that to anybody who wants it on the exchanges. And the Republicans are like, we won't vote for it if it's a public option. The Democrats are like, well, we want this to be a bipartisan bill, so let's cut the public option out of there, and maybe the Republicans will vote for it. So they cut the public option out of there, and Republicans are like, I'm still not going to vote for it. Fuck you. So the Democrats had to pass it without the good thing that was supposed to be in it. So do that. Tell them exactly what you want. Exactly. It's like, hey, we're not going to touch this thing unless you save Medicare, Medicaid, Department of Education, etc. And be like, you're on your own. You got to figure it out because we're not going to help you. And then they come back and they maybe save those things, and still you're like, fuck you, I'm still not going to vote for it. That's how you do it. That's how the Republicans do it to you. So do it right back, Chuck. Jesus, you've been there for 50 years. Figure it out. I swear, these guys, man, they're all just such limp little dicks. Monthly. My girlfriend is convinced Trump is going to invade Canada. Told her no chance. Thoughts? He's going to invade Panama first. That's what he's going to do first. He's going to invade Panama, and then he's going to invade Canada. And he's going to invade Greenland, too. Because it will throw the entire world into upheaval, get everybody against us, which will allow Russia to then take up the vacuum while people aren't watching. And if Trump is successful, then basically Russia controls the entire Arctic. Because there's nothing Norway and Iceland are going to be able to do about it. So the Arctic is going to be belonging to Russia at that point. And that's the goal. So cause chaos, piss everyone off, Putin benefits. They have like a nebulous goal. As long as it causes chaos and gets Americans killed, they're like victory. So that's where we are. Well, teapot's boiling. Get it. Avant Green. How long do you think before right-wing working class turns on Trump? Any specific events you think would be the catalyst? Well, farmers are turning on him. That's, I think I gotta tell my roommate that his water is boiling. Okay, because that sound is terrible. Come on. Boiling. But half my text to him is just the word boiling. Because he's like yelling at people on his phone. And with his door closed and doesn't hear the pie he put on 5 minutes earlier. Okay. Blah, blah, blah. But yeah, in specific events, the farmers are done with it. They are, they're, sorry, that boiling is just, the farmers are losing all their land because a lot of them took on government grants that came from the Infrastructure Inflation Reduction Act. They took on these huge, these like government guaranteed grants to help pay for mortgages on their farms and supplement their farms. Because let's face it, if you're a farmer's country, you are a welfare queen. There is not a farm that exists that does not take huge amounts of money from the government to subsidize crops, to subsidize workers, subsidize mortgages, etc. Farms can only exist via subsidization in this country. And now they're losing it all. Not only that, but the tariffs are also closing off their customers. Like, we're not going to be exporting things to other countries anymore. Florida will not be exporting oranges. Hawaii will not be exporting coffee beans. You will not be exporting corn, wheat, soybeans, anything else from the United States. That's over. You have no international customers for your products anymore. So the prices are going to collapse. And what farmers that didn't take on these things, they're going to lose it as well. I mean, if you're a beef farmer in the US, you're toast. Beef prices are going to get really cheap for Americans, that's for sure, because they're going to have no other customers to compete with. Their beef isn't going to be going to Europe. Remember, like, there's a deal signed after Brexit for American beef to go to England. That's gone because the British no longer had the EU to access fine beef. So that's gone. The Brits are basically like turning back towards Europe again, being like, maybe we should join this group called the EU. I think Canada should join the EU. I know they're not in Europe, but there is Europe basically in Canada. There's a French outpost that's surrounded by Canada, like actual French land. So why not? Canada's part of the Commonwealth. Let them join the EU. Let them have a free trade zone with Europe, while we're stuck at the border going, no customers left. So yeah, the American manufacturing is going to be toast because we're not going to have international customers. Farmers are toast, and those are all red people. Those are all MAGA red state people. They're done for. And as much as these folks voted red because they really, really, really wanted to say the N-word without getting in trouble, they're not realizing that maybe that isn't a worthy goal, that perhaps you should go for competency in your government rather than incompetency. Like, in their minds, they imagine, like, the whole system's going to burn down and I'm going to get to become a warlord. In reality, it's the whole system burns down. They're living in a cardboard box and dying in the streets. They're not having this realization like, oh, fuck, right? I just read about a dude, his neighbor is a USDA inspector, pro-Trump, voted for Trump 3 times, Trump flags all over his yard, lost his job last week, houses for sale. Like, well, can't pay the mortgage anymore. That's that. So, yeah. I'm off. How are your plays going 100% days? Yesterday wasn't so great. I bought SPY calls yesterday morning, thinking CPI numbers are like, yahoo, it'll go up a little bit. It did go up a little bit, but not as much as I had hoped, and it went down a lot quicker because while it started going up, that's when Canada and Europe announced more tariffs against the US, and then just bottom fell out. So it was 2 steps forward, 1 step back kind of day yesterday. Today was a step forward. I hope tomorrow will be a step forward again with my Tesla puts. I'll have to gauge the vibe of DC in the middle of the afternoon to figure out exactly what I'm going to do by close. I may end up doing SPY calls middle of the day because if it looks like they're going to keep the government open, there's probably going to be some green happening. So I will make some cash off of that. And then maybe I'll wait for the weekend. Maybe I won't buy anything, and then I'll buy something morning of on Monday. I was really counting on the Democrats actually having a spine for once, but you should never count the Democrats having a spine. A bunch of nimby-pimby little jellyfish. But yeah, any stock play ideas for tomorrow? I'm keeping my Tesla puts. I think Tesla can drop $5-10 by mid-afternoon tomorrow. So I'm kind of just gaming on that, and then I plan to sell midday, and then figure out what I'm going to do from there. Yeah, with JP Morgan saying Tesla is a 120 target price, I think the market's probably now going, yeah, they're a 120 target price. So Elon may have to announce some sort of share buyback to save the stock price. But even then, that's going to eat into the profits they're not making right now, because they make all their profits off of selling carbon credits based on the number of vehicles they sell. And if vehicles are cut in half, sales are cut in half, that means the carbon credits are cut in half, which means there is no more profit. It's probably a loss at that point. So, right, dog? Oh, you scratchy little patchy. Okay, there's that one. There's oh crap! Aaron Salentine was about to say something about, I think, HMR. There we go. It's saying HMR is a good squeeze play if you want to go long, 100% utilization and 267% cost to borrow. I have 112 shares at $3 even. Noted. Daniel Holcomb, loving that shirt. This is excellent Balinese batik with even, it's hard to tell, but the outlines of everything is with gold. That is gold, baby. It's a good shirt. And it's got, like, a lot of pockets. So, it can hold all sorts of things. Citizen 54, Americans have no fight. Cowards all around. Shithole countries fight back and unite. Here, it's all bullshit, indignation, condemnation, and grandstanding, taken down by the weakest man ever. Truly sad. Yeah. We're a bunch of weenies. We all talk about UFC and fight. And when it comes down to it, we're like, click. Oh, The Bachelor's on. And that's us. Chris Taylor, hello. Dumped my SPY puts today, and I'm getting ready to reset after the next upswing. I also think SMCI is ripe for a rug pull, so I'm considering buying a few SMCI puts. CRWB puts have worked out too. Kitty cat, shut up. Yeah, SCMI is SMCI. Supermicro is a fake company, basically. I'm gonna destroy the cat. One sec. Kitty, I'm gonna turn you into a basketball. Shut up. My God, cat. You're like picking up a 5-year-old. Don't grab everything in my mess on my desk. Come on, dude. You know better than that. All right, look at this guy. Yeah, I'm talking about Supermicro and just what a garbage company it is, made up of loans from bigger NVIDIA, and then they buy a whole bunch of chips from NVIDIA, give NVIDIA the money back, and then use those chips as collateral to borrow more, and then no one wants the chips. They're done for, son. But for some reason, they had a giant spike after being investigated for RICO violations. So their time is going to come, right? Wait, I just want to scratch your little face off. I want to peel your face off and pull out your brain. That's what I want to do. What do you think about that? Would you want that? Cattail karaoke. Okay. Where was I before I had to go get this fat turd? Ronald Rose, demonstrations across the world being suppressed by the media all over the world. What the fuck? Things are going nuts in Argentina. Javier Milei is definitely going down the authoritarian route in Argentina. They're shooting rubber bullets. They're hosing down grandmas. It is getting really violent. Poverty rate in Argentina is now over 50%. Inflation's over 23%. They've reduced Social Security payments. They've reduced pensions for retirees. These folks are starving to death. So they're going to fight. And Javier is like, no, more austerity, with his fucked up hairdo and rug pulling everybody for millions of dollars and his little crypto bullshit. They're going to kill him. Well, it's going to come down to, in this day and age, I don't know how long you can last as a dictator, but the crowd is going to pull you limb from limb, and they're going to hang what's left upside down at a gas station. That's just how it works. So Javier, figure it out, man. You got to figure out which country you're going to go to. My guess is you'll end up in Miami. being neighbors with Ryan Cohen. You guys can hang out together. But yeah, it's fucking stupid is what it is. But yeah, there's all sorts of it. Greece is going nuts. They still have austerity problems going on from Greece left over from the global financial crisis. Folks just want to live a good life. And, you know, there's most countries have about 15 to 100 people where if you just erase them from existence, the quality of life would improve for everybody. And that's what it comes down to. Like, I know this is a class warfare thing, but if you eviscerated a few billionaires in the United States of America, life would improve dramatically globally for hundreds of millions of people. Guillotines, baby. There's a reason why they exist. Fat Cat knows, right? You inside you are a dictator, and you know full well what you've done as a crime. Marcelo Giordano, Schumer needs to retire. Guy has less than no fight in him. Good Lord. Seriously, I agree with you, Marcella. Frozen State Productions. I'm raising an 11 and 12-year-old boy and girl, teaching them about proper nutrition. I told it's good to eat bananas because it's full of potassium. Potassium. Yeah, and banana's a great thing to bring into your science class when you guys do your first lesson with Geiger counters, because the potassium in there oftentimes has radioactive isotopes of potassium. So it'll make the Geiger go click. Right, fat boy? Right? Oh, I'm gonna just smash you. Just a little scratchy turd. Okay. And 9. You see the post from Grimes who says most Fortune 500 CEOs enjoy getting pegged. I think we'll see Emma a pegging video in the near future. I saw the post. It's hilarious, but I think it's a faked post. Although I want to believe it's true. Seagill, new season of Black Mirror coming April 10th of April. Can't wait. Like the problem with Black Mirror is that you watch it now, and you're like, the TV news has this going on right now. There's not really this is not shocking me anymore. And 9, all this push with the Takedown Act, maybe trying to get ready for it. HW. Do you think FDIC insured amounts will drop, and should we in the U.S. have big banks and put our cash in credit unions? That shirt would be sick in camo. What you should do is you should put your money in Canadian credit unions. If you can, put your money in Canadian credit unions. Banks and credit unions in the U.S. are insured to $250,000. Banks in Canada are insured to $100,000 Canadian, but credit unions in Canada have unlimited insurance. So you could put $1 trillion into a credit union in Canada, and if that credit union went under, the government has to give you $1 trillion. So Canadian Canadian credit unions are the way to go, or have multiple accounts. They have talked about gutting the FDIC and like putting it under the umbrella of another organization. They're just trying to destroy everything. That's what they're trying to do. So all their money's offshore, so they don't care. Chris Taylor wonders what Crime CEO body count is. Captain Rhino, hey Houston, getting married tomorrow. My fiance and I have been listening to your show since the first Twitter thread. Just wanted to say thanks for all you do. Congratulations. Right, Fat Cat? Excellent. Welcome. Yeah. High five. Way to go. Where are you guys getting married? What are you doing for your honeymoon? What's happening? Chris Taylor saying, of course you caved. Talking about Schumer. Shocking. Dems are fucked. Dems are so impotent. They need to fight gangster with gangster. Yeah, seriously. J. Shukla says we need Dems with balls. We need Dems with just any working genitalia at this point, I think. Avant Green. Economist Gary Stevens talks about asset prices with respect to inequality. Big proponent of taxing the rich to normalize asset prices. He says without which house will continue to rise. Yeah. You need to limit the scope of where they can put their money. Because when we talk about like private equity ruining things, ruining Sizzler, ruining KB Toy Hobby, private equity is the result of the rich having too much shit. and they got to put it somewhere. And so they start coming up with ideas like, oh, okay, I'm running out of place for my money. How about if we buy up every veterinary clinic in America and destroy it? And they're like, oh, brilliant, right? So they start buying up every vet clinic in every community in America. And then all of a sudden, they jack up the prices on everybody and you can't get vet care for a decent price, right? Oh, we should buy up every healthcare system possible. Buy up all of the drugstores, all of the hospitals, all of the clinics. We'll just buy it all. And then they do it because they have nowhere. It's like, you need to start taking some fucking cash from these dudes. They're being irresponsible with it and they're destroying the rest of society with it. So just take it. Tax them at 91%. Force them to put their money into giant philanthropic foundations instead. Back in the 1950s, when taxes were 91% on the wealthiest individuals, do you know what they did with their money? Yeah, they invested in stocks and bonds and things like that, and they had nice houses, but they took a huge chunk of it and they started things, Rockefeller Foundation, Catherine T. and John T. MacArthur Foundation, they started these giant philanthropic foundations that have outlasted the lives of the individuals because of how much money they put in there. And then, libraries get built, NPR gets funded, schools have lunch paid for, scholarships are given out to students. And it's not just money going into private equity to just ruin things you love and need, right? Like, we need veterinary clinics. Fuck you, private equity, for destroying that. Let vets run veterinary clinics. How about this? Make a law. You can't own more than one veterinary clinic. Problem solved. Private equity's fucked now. Like, this is some of the regulations you need to do because it saves society in the long run. And they're going to have to figure out what else to do with their money. And maybe they should do some good with it. Create some foundations or something. All right. Saying's wondering what game it is. Games Terraria? No. But similar. Man, there's so much cat hair floating around in this room right now. I got it. Plucked it right out of the sky. Get in the trash can. Okay. How much cat hair is in my water? Ooh, one. There's one big one in that water right now. Okay. Just Mammy, Schumer, while the CR bill is very bad, the potential for a shutdown of consequences for America, they're much, much worse. Shut the fuck up, Schumer. It's already going to get so completely bad, you may as well just shut it down. Just give people a glimpse of what their future's like and make the Republicans stew in their own juices. Because the Republicans are going to try and blame you, but they control the presidency, they control the House, they control the Senate. This is their fault. Do not placate them. Do not, help them cause more problems than they could solve. Just, Chuck, you're such a... Cheers, Mammy, soft as baby poop. Seriously, the man is soft. Daniel, who is excited or disgusted about trades coming back to YouTube? I thought he said he wasn't coming back to YouTube. He released a video yesterday or the day before talking about sort of his struggles. He made a boatload of money, 21, 22, and blew it all, I guess, gambling. Like he's a big blackjack player. I appreciate the fact how honest he was. Like, hey, these are my foibles. I am massively in debt now as a result of my vices. Good for him for being honest about it. He sort of talked about how he kept hyping AMC and he felt like it was wrong after June of 2021. And like when he would say things that were critical, people would just heap shit on him and then he would internalize that. And like they did that to me. I just don't care what other people think. If you guys can't tell. I talked lots of shit about Adam Aaron and what a garbage company AMC was becoming and how he was missing the boat and having lots of issues and problems that he was basically compounding, and people wanted my head. You know what? I had lots of AMC people who watch me who will never watch me again, but you know what? They lost 99% of their investment, and I got out. I've pushed investments that have gone to shit. I admit that. I thought MMTLP and MMAT were going to be game changers, but no, the shorts win. A lot of times, 99% of the time, the shorts seem to win. And GameStop at this point is sort of an outlier to all that. And even then, Ryan Cohen has not done the things he needs to do to really screw over the shorts. You can complain that shorts are awful and shorts suck and I hate shorts and all that stuff. But if you don't actually do the active necessary things to vaporize the shorts, they're going to keep coming after you and destroying other good companies. So, I don't know. You just gotta speak the truth as you see it and let those chips fall where they may. I guess that's kind of where you got to be. And yeah, sometimes I have 1,000 viewers, and sometimes I have 233, and that's life, man. You know, I'm not going to like rewire my brain just to be like hope that I get 100,000 subscribers and then what? Like hate myself? No, I want to like myself. So I commend Trey for taking the step back that he needed. You know, he went through a lot. He's obviously, you know, got some trauma in there that he's working on. And I hope the best for him for whatever he's got in the future. But I don't think he's going to come back to YouTube though. He may have to because he does have a lot of debt he's got to pay off. And $40,000 a month from YouTube is a great way to pay that off. But if you got gambling problems and you're like, well, I can just gamble that, then, you know, that's maybe you just dig that hole all over again. I don't know. Kelly Reed. Citadel has been stopped out from multiple highly leveraged trades, and in the process of liquidating or trimming crowded positions, it would appear that hedge funds are currently at their most vulnerable position ever. And you're going to hear more of it. They've got to figure out exactly how they're going to play this, because the last time the economy collapsed like this, they almost blinked out of existence. So they may have learned the lessons, but I doubt it. I think in Ken's mind that he is a god and he can dictate what happens to everything else, and is not considering the fact that he could be absolutely effed in the A when the bottom falls out of this thing. Season 54, Democrat Raul Grijalva of Arizona dies at 77. Grijalva spent half a century in public service and represented Arizona in Congress for more than 2 decades. Old guard finally dying off. Goodbye. I wonder who's going to take his spot. That'd be interesting. Chris Taylor. And they have to cow to the boards and investors who work to shitify whatever company does try and max shareholder value. And that's true. Daniel says he's truly a degenerate gambler. Poor guy, but he has good supporting friends. He does. He seems like an earnest dude. I always thought this, by the way. He was an earnest dude. But definitely there's some demons in there. I don't know if the demons are from his military days or from just growing up. You know, not everybody has the benefits in life to overcome, you know, tragedy, trauma, inconvenience, heartache. Like it takes lots of examples and lots of conscious effort on your part to sort of be able to step back and look at a situation and go, I need to do this differently. Everyone falls for the moment. Like, not everybody is perfect. In the moment, you make bad decisions. You have impulse control issues. It happens to everybody. You know, it's. He said that in that video of his, he talked about how lotto winners, like 77% of them or whatever, are dead or broke within a couple of years. It happens, right? Right, monkey? Yeah. So I can't blame him for that. Just Miami looking at his post today, pointing out the person who convinced to come back as suspect. Oh, so he is coming back. I didn't see a post today about him coming back. People talk about, Tesla owners putting Mazda badges in the car, and Daniel says, I may have to do that with mine. Sheep ducking cow you. Look up drone attacks on Tesla dealerships. It's pretty hilarious. Drone attacks on Tesla dealerships. Tesla lots face wave of attacks as anger towards Elon Musk. White House brand. Cybertruck's torch, short-arms attacked. I don't see drones yet. I might have to look this up later because it is now 4:30 and I've got a peace out Girl Scout. I'll see you guys tomorrow for a show. We'll find out how the Tesla puts and things did then, and find out if in fact they did vote for cloture on that bill and see where it goes. Okay, all right, monkey butt, alien dad. Oh, do you want maybe a treat before we go? We can do that. One treat before we vominos. The crunchy little dog. Take that, buddy. There you go. All right. There's one left in this bag. We're almost done with this bag, buddy. That's a lot of pig ear. That's a lot of pig ear. Okay. All right, everybody. Catch you tomorrow. Oh, yeah. Time to go.